Hey everybody, welcome to the video blog series starting 2013. We've just finished our first radio show here on 660 AM The Answer. Just finished it moments ago and I'm already exhausted. I go away for the holidays. It's a beautiful Christmas, a wonderful New Year. It's restful. I got downtime. I'm in dry dock. I'm having a great time. I come back. I'm totally ready to come back to the show. Totally ready to just latch on to all the issues and see where the events of the year are going to take us. And Republicans can't even speak with one voice about the necessity for spending cuts. I mean, serious spending cuts, serious entitlement reform, and the absolute moral necessity for sensible taxation. If I hear one more person say, oh, taxes are going to be fine for 98% of Americans, how about releasing 98% of the slaves? Is that okay? And I know that's not apples and apples. I know. But if something is an absolute, a moral absolute, it's a moral absolute. And we need people in leadership roles in Washington who know that it is a moral absolute not to increase spending one dime when we don't have any money, and also a moral absolute to have sensible taxation. I know sensible can differ from person to person. My sensible might be your nonsensical. That's why we have talk shows, I guess. But the bottom line is the notion that we're going to fix our fiscal problem by further soaking the upper wage earners. We could wholesale confiscate every dime made by the top 1 or 2% in America and not even achieve a trickle of what we need to do to get our ridiculous debt problem solved. I'll tell you one thing that it will do to take that upper, the 450,000 and up. And listen, that's some serious money. I know, for example, that they can afford it. What's fair? What can they afford? That's never the way to look at taxation. Taxation's not a fairness issue. What people can afford according to what people need. That's a horrible way to look at taxation. What the country needs is a certain amount of money to run according to what the Constitution dictates. Wow, how about that? Once we figure out what that amount of money is, how do you equitably stretch it across all the income levels? My silly idea is, of course, the flat tax. Make 10 grand, give me 17%. Make 10 billion, give me 17%. There. No charge. If you want to have some adjustments here and there to incentivize some things we say we like charitable giving, child rearing, home mortgage deduction, fine, we can have those conversations. But the reason that we don't have leaders stepping forward to say things like this is they're scared to death. They're scared to death in the same way they're scared to talk about spending. If someone steps forward and offers a flat tax, they know that they are going to be demonized because that means some people making a lot of money might pay somewhat less in taxes. Yeah, and some people making moderate to even lower incomes might actually pay a little bit more. Yeah, they might, but that's called shared sacrifice. And what we have is half of America, a lot of people in that lower half who don't pay anything, and that's not good. That's how you get grease. We have a country hopped up on free stuff paid for by other people's money. That has to stop. Everyone needs skin in the game, the phrase I know you've heard 1,000 times. So that's how you would solve that. The way you solve spending, oh, God help us there, because we know we need to cut it. But pity the poor politician who steps forward and says, I have a specific list of things we're going to cut. Here are 5, 10, 15 things that I'm going to cut if you let me. The moment that list comes out, the dominant media culture will go cover the anguished cries of every constituency that has a hair on its head knocked out of place by one of those cuts. It will spell certain electoral doom for some of the folks who are exactly the kind of leaders that we need. So I'm filled with optimism. Oh man, I still put my pants on, I still come do talk shows, I still love the country, and I still think that at some point, it may take things getting a lot worse before they get better, and I never root for things to go badly. Hey, let's have a depression, let's have 12% unemployment, then maybe they'll listen to me. I'll never say that. I hope we don't have to run things into the rocks too horribly before people realize that we do not have a taxing problem. We do not have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. And when we get serious about solving it, then I'll have a little more optimism. But until then, whether I'm optimistic, pessimistic, or somewhere in between, you'll hear it and be able to react to it every day, 7 to 10, and on Fridays, of course, 5 in the morning, speaking Central Time here, doing Bill Bennett's Morning in America from 5 to 8, and then locally 8 to 10. But most days, 7 to 10 Central, right here in the morning on 660 AM, The Answer. Thanks a lot.